on today's episode of Madge Unmuted, we've got my daughter Libby talking about how she works for the NHL. Pew, pew, pew. And that's shots on goal, not anything else. Anyway, but that's my daughter Lib. Everything you want to know about the NHL right out of Manhattan on today's Madge Unmuted. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Madge Unmuted. I am your hostess, Madge Madigan, and I'm so glad to see you again. We've been away for a little while, but me and Fitz are back. Say hi, Fitz.
Hi, Fitz.
So unfortunately, we don't have Chris with us today, and you're probably wondering why I have this. I do this. I can never figure out which way to go. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to do a dance.
Left boob.
Thank you. Why have an NHL
logo?
Quarter zip.
Oh yeah, quarter zip. That's
I was like windbreaker. No, it's not that. That's a really old person's thing. But anyway, because we have an employee of the NHL here, a special guest, and that is my daughter Libby.
Yay!
Welcome.
It's me, Madge's daughter Libby, and current employee of the NHL.
Say hi to
Hello.
Fitz.
She's no
Fitz.
stranger to the podcast.
Exactly. You guys.
I remember when you were here, and it's not like you were this big or something. You look exactly the same. But,
see, in my mind, I'm like, I think I did it, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, it probably was.
To me,
I
think I was in college.
No, I think it was your first year.
Out of
college?
Because we started this in August of 2020. So I think
this is a COVID podcast?
Yes, it is. But actually, I had the idea. I started talking to Fitz right before COVID hit, so there was just a little delay.
Okay.
But
and some people were hoarding toilet paper. You were hoarding ideas for your podcast. So
exactly. Well, you were home for most of the time, the beginning of COVID. Remember?
I mean, clearly, I don't remember it. I'm surprised that you remember anything other than doing this.
Oh my God, Libby, we had so much fun. Okay, so
I remember that.
No, wait a minute.
I remember all the fun I have with you all the time.
Yay. So you had just started a job. Because, you graduated college from Quinnipiac in May of 2019.
Right.
And so it was like Thanksgiving of 2020, but no, that's not when. It was the next year, because remember, we didn't see your brother. I couldn't see your brother for like a year and a half because he was in New York City and nobody was venturing out. So anyway, it was like 2021 or whatever when you came out, or 2022, whatever the fuck it was. I don't know. So anyway,
yes,
it's not
because my dear sister was finally able to join us, and she graduated college in 2021. So she was in the mix. Okay,
So you don't remember when we were all home for COVID, or not all?
No,
you and
of course
the
I
three
do.
of us. We had so much fun. Oh my God, there was a lot of drinking going on.
Time.
It was theme nights all the time.
Exactly.
We were cooking. Libby cooked for Mexican night one time.
Oh my God, and that is one of the fondest memories that I have, because one, it was delicious, but two, because that was the first time I ever made guacamole from scratch. So it was the first time I had ever picked out an avocado by myself at the grocery store, and it was not ripe, and it was so hard. And I was like, it always looks really easy when people make guacamole. I was like, this is not very good. And
I wouldn't know,
but luckily you and Abby don't eat guacamole.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
But oh my God, it is so ingrained in my head that was the first time I tried to buy an avocado, and I was a novice avocado buyer.
Oh my God.
But in that moment, I realized that started my shopping addiction of avocados, that now I'm like, I can never have a horrible avocado. And now, for all your avocado needs, insert my information here. At
Libby Zabelny.
Exactly.
Is that what your socials are?
All of it's at Libby Zabelny. My whole everything.
It's at Libby Zabelny. Okay.
Yep.
So
that's my Venmo. It's everything. Don't say something.
And my Venmo is
exactly. Thank you. And here's our GoFundMe for me and my mom.
Exactly.
What's wrong? We just want more money.
she doesn't fall far from the tree there. Anyway,
Because
so
next time my background is going to be filled with purses too. I just need the money from the GoFundMe to follow in my mother's footsteps.
Well, right now your background is filled with New York City, but we can't see it.
Yes, unfortunately, early setting of the.
I am so jealous. Okay, so let me tell you, I have 3 kids. For those of you that don't know, they're all about to have birthdays. So can I tell how old you are? Do you care?
Fitz, do you know how old I am?
That's a good question.
That's a really good question.
Let's give it a guess.
25?
That's. Leave it at that.
Huh?
What'd you do? I threw my head back to laugh, and I'm really close to the wall. Anyway,
am I at least close?
Sure. I consider it.
So
we'll consider it a game of horseshoes. Close it is.
Right.
Close enough. My son Jack is going to be 32 in March. Libby is child number 2 in next week. No, what's
next
the
week,
date?
next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. That's right. Next Wednesday, the 21st, Libby's going to be 29.
Oh, okay.
And then my youngest, so Jack lives in Queens, and then my youngest, Abby.
If I squint outside, I can see my brother.
Exactly. I see you, Jackie. And my youngest daughter, Abby, who lives with Libby, they live together in Stamford, Connecticut. Next month, she's going to be 27. So anyway, yay. So Libby is, she works for the NHL.
Yes,
Sweet.
I do.
And she just celebrated your 3rd anniversary.
I did.
I saw that 3 years with the NHL. Woohoo! And oh gosh, she's single, by the way. I could tell you guys, if you live in the tri-state area, the greater New York metropolitan area, she's single.
Exactly.
So,
Great commuter benefits too. I can hop on a train any which way.
Exactly. She can be there. No, she can meet you in a public place.
Thank you.
Like that. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
Absolutely.
So my daughter, you started out, well, you can tell the story.
So January of 2023, I ended up starting at the NHL as a royalty analyst in the licensing department in the finance department. Sorry, there's a lot of umbrellas that's underneath. It's like the little Russian nesting doll until you get down to me. I started in the position, and so that position, I was still fully in finance. I was doing a lot of Excel.
I don't think you said what the position was.
A royalty analyst.
Yeah, royalty
was
analyst.
my original.
Oh,
yeah,
you did
royalty
say that.
analyst
Okay.
originally.
Which I want to know more.
What does that even mean?
Yes.
So originally what I was doing, in terms of working in the licensing group, anything at the NHL plus all other major leagues as well. Or even I use the comparison of like music, because people tend to recognize that more, is that any company that sells any merchandise with, in this instance, NHL logos on it, so any of the teams or anything with like the NHL shield like my mom's wearing, or anything like that, once they're set up contract with us and everything, and then once that's all put together and they start selling, you have to pay a royalty percentage on each of the sales. So it's the same thing in like in music, where it's everybody always references, royalties get paid on this when they use your song in a commercial or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you see actors and actresses, they get, their royalty checks all throughout. Like, hey, I was on the one episode of Grey's Anatomy, 16 years ago, and I get this residual pay or whatever. So any stuff they make, it's worked into their contract, they have to pay that amount. So what I was doing was, whenever I was getting any of that, those Excel sheets sent into us, then I was going through them, making sure that they're paying the correct amount of royalties and with their contract, as well as making sure that they're selling appropriate marks of if they're only allowed to sell Canada teams, and all of a sudden I'm stuff with Canadian merch and I'm getting, a New York Rangers sale from them, then I'm like, hey guys, can't do that.
That's the thing I didn't understand that was cool that Libby told me, that like these manufacturers have, they have really specific criteria or whatever in their contracts that, you can only, like Libby said, you can only do Canadian teams, or you can't put anything with Stanley Cup in it, or I don't know, whatever. And so Libby was trying to make sure that they were doing that yes, whatever was in their contract.
Yes. So I was on the finance side of that. And then, so I did that for 2 years up until this past July 2025, where I saw another internal posting. You guys got everybody just keep your eyes open, because things just keep appearing in front of me.
Maybe you should look for me, because nothing's coming up for me.
It's because you wear glasses and I don't, and so I can see everything.
Is that an
exactly.
old joke?
No,
well,
it's a vision joke.
Look for stuff for your mother. Anyway.
But so I saw a position for our quality control department here, which another one, like, what the heck does that even mean? Like, what could that possibly mean? And so I interviewed for, I almost said I auditioned for it, which I did after the fact. I did a performance. I still perform every day.
I just love your performances.
But I interviewed for it, and so now I'm an assistant quality control, which means now I'm still in like the licensing group of things, but I'm at the other end of the cycle. So before I was at the end, once merchandise is sold, here's what we sold, take it. And now I'm at the beginning of it, where actually I receive all of my team does, sorry, not me specifically. Any of these companies that are trying to sell merchandise, whether it be, sweatshirt, t-shirt, to bobblehead, trash can.
Stanley Cup. Well, like the drinking Stanley Cup.
Cups.
Screwdriver set.
Yes, exactly. They sell everything now. But so now
that's what I got for Christmas.
Yes, exactly.
Sabers on it.
But so now they submit all those designs like in our portal, and we review all of that stuff to make sure they're using the correct color, they're using the correct execution of the logos. It's like in terms of like the Winter Classic just happened. And so, you want to make sure that they're using the correct Winter Classic logos on it, that they're not, telling me that the Winter Classic was just between the Florida Panthers and New York Rangers. I don't want them submitting stuff and it has, Utah Mammoth and Colorado Avalanche or something on it. Like, make sure it's the right teams and the right colors being used. Make sure you'd be surprised what people do, that nothing's upside down, that it's not blurry, that it's not flipped the right way or upside down or sideways or something like that. So there's a lot of other stuff that, it's crazy to see in terms of
make sure it's tough and good fabric.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
Some of it is dog toys, actually, speaking of.
Lexi wants a new hockey puck bone.
Do you have an NHL team, Fitz?
I guess the Sabres.
Yes.
Great choice. They
because
are
I
on
work
fire
for
right
the
now.
same organization. I work for the Amerks. So.
Oh, that's right.
The AHL.
Yes, that is correct.
The little baby of the NHL.
There's a boy on the Amerks who played at Libby's college.
Well, actually, he's on the Sabres now.
You're right. He got called up to the Sabres now.
Zach Metza.
Oh, Metza. Yeah, he's awesome.
He's
so he went to Quinnipiac.
Guy. So he won the national championship, right?
So the question I have for you.
Anyway,
when we were shooting Bottom Feeders, one of our actors inadvertently
that's his movie.
Was wearing.
I remember.
Yeah, is wearing a Bills hat, and it was one of the older logos, and we were kind of pissed off because I didn't catch it, and we were like, we're not gonna, we're not gonna have the rights to be able to put that that hat on, you know, use it in the movie. Well, considering our movie was so small and it didn't matter, like no one's going to care. But we found it, I found it very difficult to actually figure out who to talk to in the organization, and also who actually owns the rights. Was it the Bills? Was it the NFL? And there's like all these different layers. So, you know, that's a very complicated part of that business, that everything that you're like, the department that you're in, it's like
And
way
thank God,
bigger
'cause
and more
that's how-
complicated than people think. than people
Yeah.
realize.
Libby has a job.
Yeah. So that's actually, so I was in the finance department before, and so now technically my new role is under the legal department. So honestly, your questions that you just asked, I still don't fully know the answer to. Oh my gosh. I don't know how people are lawyers, because every day I hear words that I'm like, you
Ask
remember
your
what that
Uncle
means?
Tom.
Yeah, I truly have no idea. But so I had a similar question. Like we were talking about, like Wayne's World, like they wear hockey jerseys in that movie. So it's like, obviously it's a bigger, you know, movie. Or Happy Gilmore, you know, he wears a Bruins jersey the whole time. And obviously, you know, smaller things.
Yeah.
If we policed every single thing that existed on the entire planet, then,
Right.
but it's like a complicated thing of like, so there's the intellectual property of it, that it's, those marks are owned, and then it's like the club owns them, and then the league owns what the club has. So it is like,
God.
when you have a scenario like that, it is like so many people that you have to go through. And then even on top of that too, say that, you know, that hat was, you know, actually a jersey and, you know, has a player's name on it, then you have to go through the PA and go through the Players Association, you know, get the rights
right.
there as well, because then you have to make sure players are being paid for their likeness to be used. So it's just like, honestly,
it's
thank
crazy.
God that all I do is like, I look at colors, is what I tell people. My roommates joke that, well, one of my roommates is my sister, but roommates for the collectiveness of it all, joke that my job now is a sports fashion scientist. The science part is because we look at like Pantone books and stuff. And so, you know, I'm looking at things and it's like, you know, the CMYK is 0.4 and this one's, you know, -6. And so, and then we have like a light box that I can look under to see the colors in various like, you know, lighting, because, you know, we've seen the dress with was it black and blue or white and gold. Literally, that's what I do, is like look at these things to make sure.
Your job so bad.
Are you colorblind?
I'm colorblind. I'm red green colorblind, so I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I could, if you give me a color, I most of the time I can tell if it's a red or green, but then there's certain shades where I'm like, no idea. They look the same to me. And especially with trying to figure out if the logo has the right shades of any color, it'd be like, nope.
Yes. So it's one thing of like original colors of like, you know, like the Philadelphia Flyers, always the same shade of orange, always that same shade of orange. So if you look at it and you're like, yep, still orange. But if it's like, you know, darker or lighter, it's probably like, I can tell because I'm looking at the same color all the time.
Yeah.
But if all of a sudden, you know, they're like, hey, we're coming out with a new Flyers jersey and it's going to be, you know, neon purple, then all of a sudden I'm like, is this what the purple that we're looking for? Like, is this how we want it to look?
Yeah.
And so then you have to, you know, actually look at it in all of these lights and be like, is this what we're looking for? Is this right? And so funny that you said that. So people ask me that all the time, if I'm allowed to do this job if I was colorblind. And I'm like, I don't know. They didn't ask me. So I don't know what the answer is. And no, I'm not.
No vetting there.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I don't know if
because
they can ask that.
oh yeah, I think they can. I think they can. It's not like they're not asking you if you like women. I mean, they're asking you.
Yes.
They don't ask
colors.
you if you like blue. They just want to know if you can see
What's your
blue.
favorite
Yes.
color? What's your favorite color? Yeah, you're not getting this job, pal.
Oh, imagine. But no, so my household is very avid Jeopardy watching house. And so the commercial break that it goes into, Ken Jennings asks the players to share like a fun fact about them. And recently, one of the episodes, one of the guys on Jeopardy said that his job is like matching and fixing car paint colors. And he admitted, he goes, and I'm colorblind. And he's been working at this job, he said, for like 15 years. And Ken was like, do they know? And he was like, yeah. So, but he literally, like, what he does is he said he holds up swatches to it and of the correct color and like has to match it like that. But like, he can't see the colors.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
so yeah, that's the thing.
I don't know. And then this man's really smart. He's on Jeopardy. So maybe that's how he got through it, is that he's a genius, obviously.
He could see it at the molecular level, so he can see what
bullshit his way through.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
That's blurple.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't know the names of the colors.
Just an aside, superfan Liz had a thing with a pair of shoes. I don't know if she told you the story, Lib.
I saw her Facebook post.
Okay, with the shoes that Gary insists that they were green, and she's like, no, they're blue, or maybe vice versa. Anyway.
Well, I was also like, you're a man. You don't know what color those are. What are you talking about?
All right.
No offense, Gary. Love Gary, but it's like if Madge and Liz tell you what color they are, that's what color they are. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
So one cool thing Libby gets, perks of the job, is whenever there's tickets available, she gets to go to Rangers games or things at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, nice.
So if you look, that's Libby, you can tell at the far, whatever, next to the boy.
Left.
And the boy is my son. And then the next girl is my daughter, Abby. And then the fourth girlie in the glasses is the girl's roommate, Kayla.
So that was last
That
Thursday?
was the Sabres game.
Yes, the Rangers played the Sabres. The Rangers did absolutely horrible in it.
Sabres won.
But it was awesome. Regardless, that was the first game in my life where it was like, this is my number one and number two teams, so we're good to go here.
So you didn't really care. Question.
Answer.
To people that ask you where you work, do they get like really impressed when you tell them? I work for the NHL.
Yes, depending on the person. Yes, once people realize that the NHL means hockey. There is a confusion there sometimes when I say NHL. And then, I still have friends that are like, yeah, Libby, she works for the NFL. I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
Or I have friends that'll say, oh, Libby works for the Rangers. No, I don't.
Yeah, right.
I was like, I work for the league. A majority of people are impressed. If you don't know right off the rip what NHL means, then with the second explanation of that it's the National Hockey League, then people are impressed. So there's sometimes the initial that they're like, okay.
That is funny. I never
like when you
know.
say you work for a bank, if you're like, oh, I work for UBS, and they're like, okay.
But I know that's funny that you said that, because I talk about my kids all the time, because they're far more interesting than I am, and I love them so much. I got to brag about my kids all the time, and so when I tell people, my daughter works for the NHL, and it's the same kind of thing that you say that. It's like, and yeah, they get confused. I'm like, the National Hockey League, I'm so surprised, because NFL, everybody knows.
I'm surprised. I mean,
so am I.
They're not hockey fans, or I don't know.
Exactly. That's the main thing. But it's also funny because our family, that was the number one sport. Like that was top of the list of, our dad played college hockey. He coached. So it was like the first thing we learned is here's hockey. There's a picture. One of my favorite pictures is when I'm a baby and I'm sitting on the ground in between two chairs and my dad and my brother are shooting pucks against me in the kitchen.
Play knee hockey.
Yeah, and I'm like 7 months old. So I'm like, when people are like, what is the NHL? I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
But then on top of it, I love all sports too. So if you just like name dropped any of the leagues to me, you would be like, oh, I work for the PWHL, which is the women's hockey league now. I'm like, no, I know what that is too. But sometimes
I didn't know there was one
like,
of those.
WH.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Professional
There's-
Women's Hockey League?
Yes.
I didn't know that it was the PWHL.
Mhm.
I would have just said WNHL. But yeah, like
Exactly.
the WNBA. But you know, it's funny though, but similar thing. Because my friend Wendy, her son, I think it was her son, worked for MLB. So I think that's one of those two right off the bat. If somebody said MLB, you're like, I don't know.
Well,
I guess
that's not something that people say often, I think. MLB, you know what I mean? Like,
right. That's my point.
I think people actually would say, they most of the time would say Major League Baseball instead of saying MLB.
Yeah, but if that organization, you're like, I work for Major League Baseball, or you say I work for the MLB. You know, it's like, I don't know. But you're right, Lib. Our family is just like,
I think it's
here's
impressive
hockey.
as hell. Working for the
Yeah.
NHL or the NFL or MLB or the FUK, whatever.
Mhm.
Any
Yeah.
of those are
The F.
I
yeah.
agree.
awesome.
So here's some more impressive stuff. So Libby tell him, honey, tell him what you did. Liv's going to
The
start
good news
going
for
back
me is I do a lot of cool things. So what is this one that we want to talk about?
that you're going to start doing in the summer.
Oh, yes. So I have crazy that I'm doing this, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't have this on my bingo card for 2026, but
I am going to grad school at Boston College to get my master's in sports administration.
Ooh,
and because
So-
it's a program that's offered
that's
through
awesome.
the NHL.
Yes, we have a partnership with the NHL. So that's
So,
how I
yeah,
found
we-
out about it. They emailed us about it. And I started looking at the program and found out the ability that I'm able to do it like fully remote, while like still working here. And then I also have the opportunity to, like, if there's, a speaker or something, like I can go to Boston and like be in person for that.
So you can end up being like part of the management of a sports club. Is that what this
Yeah.
degree would get you?
Honestly, so it can get you so many different things. Depends on the way people use it. But so when I went to visit, I did a visit back in November, and like some people use this program they just want to be a coach. They just want to be a head coach, and they use this. Other people, it's to be an athletic director. There's some people that just want to be in charge of. A lot of people sometimes want to work with like college sports more than professional leagues. And then it's also, if you're on the media side of things, that it's really benefits those people. There's other ones that one of the classes offered is literally like a, what's it called? Like facilities, like,
facilities management.
Management
To
and
be a
operation and
Zamboni
stuff.
driver.
Yeah, like that seems like that. Or like one of them,
I
they were
always
saying,
wanted to do.
yeah, they were
Turf
saying some
master.
people like, yes, I was going to say one of them, I guess there's like some program with like AstroTurf or something. And they were telling us that like a year or two ago, they like took students down to their plant in like Texas or whatever, where they make all the turf and you get to see all the turf. And it's like, is that the top of my list? No, I'm not trying to be a turf master. I'd swing by for sure. But
Check out the turf.
I'm not spending a couple grand to be in the turf business. But some people are.
Never know.
People,
So, but
or
so
Carl
honestly,
Spackler, he was really into the turf.
but don't ask me your next question, which might be, so what do you want to do with this degree? As the answer is, I have no idea, but it was a wonderful opportunity put in front of me. And especially like, as you can see with COVID, is you never know what's ever going to happen. with anything ever. So it's an awesome opportunity. I straight up wrote in my like personal statement that I was like, to apply to the school, that I was like, this is the only school program that I'm looking at. I've never considered grad school. It literally, if you asked Libby that was on this podcast a few years ago, I'd be like, no.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
what? Like absolutely not.
So what other cool stuff do you get to do working at the NHL?
I mean, I guess we'll talk about my manifestation story that actually happened with this. So when I was younger, like really young, like elementary school, I had like one thing hung up on my wall, and that was a poster of the Stanley Cup. That I was just like, that's awesome, Stanley Cup. That's awesome. It was really all my thoughts about. I didn't play hockey. I know how to skate, but like that's it.
But you went to your brother and sister's.
Yeah, I saw
things
my
all
brother
the
and sister.
time.
Like I loved watching hockey. Like still had that whole thing or whatever. But I remember we went into like this poster store, and I was like, well, I have to get a poster. Like I'm at the poster store. I got to tell people I got a new poster. But then I saw the Stanley Cup one. I was like, I'm gonna get that. But then on top of that, also, I'm just remembering right now, I've never actually like said this part about it too, but in sixth grade, sixth grade, we had to write a research project. And it was the first time we were learning how to do a research project, like a biography type of whatever.
Excellent.
And it was the first time that
Citing sources and-
citing sources, you pick a topic, you go to the library and everything like that. And I chose the Stanley Cup to write my first ever little report on. So it's just like always been something in my mind. And then all of a sudden at whatever I was, 25, I guess, I'm getting an email that, hey, on this Tuesday, the Stanley Cup's coming into your office at the NHL. And I'm like,
that's right.
One, I work at the NHL. That's crazy in itself. And then two, I was like, the physical thing. I was like, not my poster. Like, are you sure it's not my poster? And they brought it in. I'm just standing there, and I'm like, how is this real life?
And I think so,
especially like as being a woman on top of that too. It's like the Stanley Cup isn't for women to win when I'm younger. So it's like this weird thing that I'm also like obsessed with, that I'm like, I actually never have the option to obtain that. But like, lo and behold, I was super wrong. Obtained it far more than a lot of other people have in the NHL that are players.
This just made me think of something. Like you're talking about, as a woman and NHL and blah blah blah, and your company is real. I am so impressed of the culture of supporting their employees, because you're reposting stuff on LinkedIn all the time that the NHL posts, and they're always, they've posted, they're big about women in sports. They post profiles. One Lib has been featured of women that work for the NHL, and just all these things. But anyway, you're talking about, so does the PWHL has nothing to do with the NHL?
I mean, it's its completely own entity and stuff, but it's kind of like, I mean, we have meetings with the PWHL, like our company as a whole, like they bounce ideas off one another type of thing. Or like the NHL will be like, hey, you should also go to the PWHL game. Like stuff like that, but we're not like actually affiliated like legally, I don't think in any way.
Real quick made me think is, has there been any effect from heated rivalry? Of the interest with women or gay men, I suppose too. Well, did you see it?
Yes. So I watched it. I watched the entirety of it. I cried every episode.
Really?
Oh my God, it was such a beautiful show. If you're watching this and you haven't seen it, watch it. I will let you log into my HBO for it.
Wait, don't let them know.
Don't tell HBO that though. You're not allowed to share passwords. Just like I'm traveling, send me the link and I'll tell you what the code is. But
My daughter always
We've-
has a
we've
angle.
actually, I've had 2 conversations about heated rivalry just today. I had multiple last week. Everybody's just asking, what can we do about it? What are we going to do about it?
people in
And
the NHL, like how can they capitalize on it?
no,
or-
more people just asking any employee that's here that it's like, what can we do to capitalize on it?
Well, that's what I meant. Within
Yeah.
you guys are talking about it within,
Yeah.
how do we?
But it's like any also Joe Schmo is like, what is the NHL going to do something about it? And I don't know. The only thing is I think there have been like hints from clubs about it. So like in the show, the teams the 2 guys play for are Boston and Montreal. So then a few weeks ago, when Boston and Montreal actually played each other in real life in the NHL, there was a fight in the game, and their social media for the Bruins tweeted that and captioned it "heated rivalry"
Okay.
in all in lowercase. So it's just like we're just saying words right now.
Kind of ambiguous.
Yeah. But I will say that like for the past, especially week, I have seen nothing but heated rivalry talk on my TikTok page. I literally cannot scroll without heated rivalry on my phone.
And it's so interesting because it's about a gay relationship, a homosexual relationship, which, it doesn't always go over so great in men's sports. And I haven't really heard anybody, women think it's sexy, gay men, whatever, which also I find a little surprising.
Really?
I'm glad that women find what
What is that? Women find when
sex
it's
scenes
2
with
guys?
2 men sexy. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Have you seen it, Fitz?
No, I haven't. I've seen that it's on HBO. I haven't watched it yet.
And it's basically, softcore porn with a hockey story, but the players are both really hot and really good looking and really sexy and but it's really great that people are so accepting of it, and even find it sexy. And I'm just I haven't really heard any backlash of men and about it.
Sorry, keep going.
No, I was gonna say which I would have think I would, we don't need any of that gay shit and blah, 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 how those assholes are. But I
was just gonna say the main discourse that I've seen. One, that was a really good point because I was low key thinking too. I was like, why is this so hot? These 2 gay men.
I know.
But I did see someone say that it's like, because the whole science of it all, of like when it comes to women, like they, find like passion and romance sexier. And so their love story is just so deeply to see 2 people so deeply invested in one another and just so absolutely in love and wanting to do anything for the other person is the secret step above the actual physicality that you're seeing on the screen. Yeah. So then when you're just the lust and the yearning of it all, that it's them, the build up to it.
You're selling it there, girl.
Yeah. The build up to it is what people are so many women are oh my God. And then you're realizing, oh my God, this is so hot when the actual physical stuff is happening, but you're thinking it the whole time leading up to it. Honestly, what you said about like men watching the show. Honestly, there's a podcast that I see the clips pop up. They're called Empty Netters or something is the name of the podcast. And they're these straight guys that watched every single episode of Heated Rivalry and reviewed it and were it was so awesome and very in-depth reviewed every single episode. And, they have a strong male following or whatever. And so they were literally they talked about it in ways of one of the clips they literally say, and it is I didn't know 2 men could have sex that way. They're actively learning. They're I didn't know it worked like that in certain scenarios. Or them.
That's strange.
But anyway, what I was going to go back to real quick is that men, okay, I was married to your father for almost 10 years, and he was, he had played hockey for Clarkson University, but then when we met right after college, and he was playing like men's league hockey like 2 to 3 times a week. And so that was like my whole social life. I just went and sat at the rink, and then we went, we would go out for beers afterwards. And so I was with him and his hockey player friends all the time. And it's like there how do I put this? There is a bit of homoeroticism to like men's sports, men even at, all boys school, being in the men's locker room, whatever.
Oh,
I mean,
look
guys
at
want
the
to make
volleyball scene in Top Gun. Come on.
there you exactly. And they'll even make jokes about each other, and they don't care. They don't give a shit about seeing each other, and they'll snap towels and all that stuff. And they're, there's a true thing to like the bromance. Men have bonding in their way. And so it's like, but they want to be macho all the time. And it's like, come on. So, anything else you got to add? I'm so glad that you work for the NHL, because I got to see Depeche Mode at Madison Square Garden.
So true.
I had a question for Libby.
Oh
yes.
What was your degree? Like, what did you go to school for?
Oh my God, business management.
Okay.
I was just
But wait.
Okay, yes, to be
Tell
fair,
them how you started.
I started as an athletic training major, and then I was really bad at that. And then I was less bad at business.
Give yourself more credit. Like, she was so gung-ho about it, but then when she got there,
I was
she's
really
like, oh my
excited
God, I
about
got to
it.
take all this science and math.
Yeah,
and
it was
that's
just
not
the science math portion was
So
just
that's
like
why now-
not for me.
So
I was
you
like,
kind of like have found that nice middle ground where it's like you're in the sports arena, you're in the sports field, but you don't have to do with all that other crap that you didn't want to do in the first place.
yes. And so like the big thing that I'd like expressed to a lot of people that have talked about like being in sports and working in sports is that like when I decided that I wasn't going to do athletic training anymore, which I think should I do a whole year? Yeah, I think I did my freshman year. Yeah. So I did all of freshman year as an athletic training major before I switched to business management my sophomore year. But when I did that, I thought that there was no other way for me to ever work in sports. Like, I didn't know that there was anything besides like athletic training or like media. Like, if I wasn't, and I was like, that's also not something I'm really that good at. The talking and being media trained.
You're pretty good at it.
So it was like, okay, well, I guess I'll watch sports. Awesome. Cool. And then I found that job on LinkedIn a few years later. And then from working here, oh my God, I had no idea that these things existed that the people around me do. It's actually insane. That like even recently I've started to review how I like review logos and stuff like that. My licensees have to send me in their marketing material to make sure that they applied their logos correctly on their marketing material. Like, I didn't even know that there was like that. Like, if you see like a web banner and it'll be like, hi, we're selling, buy one, get one free Rangers mugs. I'm looking at that graphic to make sure that the Rangers logos and the product that they're depicting were what we approved. And
do you have any input on the aesthetic part of it, or just you have legal guidelines or criteria that they have to be constrained to?
Actually, that's a great disclaimer for me to put in, is that if you think something's ugly, I had nothing to do with it. My team had nothing to do with it. Or if you think it's dumb.
There's no design, there's no aesthetic, artsy design part of it. It's all strictly use case and technical parts to it.
Yeah, there's only like some things that you can kind of be like, hey, I don't know if this, so you like can see this well, type of thing. I was going to say, sometimes I wish that I could put in approval or my thoughts on like design and stuff like that. But like, oh my God, this outfit that I put on today is what I get advice from my sister. I'm not fashionable at all.
The extent of your decision making.
Exactly.
That's
like
not true.
No, I can see somebody else do something and then I can recreate it, but I can't come up with anything like off the dome and be like, we should do this.
Okay, I'm going to let you go so that you can get on the train and get home to Stamford.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having some spaghetti for dinner tonight, and I've been thinking about it all day.
I'm thinking about spaghetti. Thanks a lot. I was just
now I'm thinking about spaghetti.
I'm so freaking hungry. I'm dying over here. Dying.
Exactly.
All right, well, let you
it's
kids
Spaghetti
go.
Tuesday. Spaghetti Tuesday.
I didn't know that was a thing.
You think you didn't make us spaghetti on Tuesdays when we were younger?
I made you spaghetti every other day because I was poor.
Yeah, but you make it fun if you add the day.
Grilled cheese Wednesday. Grilled cheese Thursday.
It's hot dog Friday. Yippee!
That was my kids was like, it's chicken nuggets Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep. Well, I'm so glad that you joined us, Libby. I miss you tons. I wish I was there because you don't want to be here. It's boring. No.
Well, in this exact moment, I do not want to be in this office anymore, to be fair.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'll let you go. Thanks, on hey, if you want to look up Libby on social media, Libby Zabelny, and go find her and say hi. And she's a cutie pie, and she's funny. Thanks again, and I hope to see you soon. And Fitz, thanks so much.
Thank you. It was fun. I learned a lot.
Me too. And hey, everybody, don't forget to subscribe while you're here. Like, share, comment, do all that stuff. If you got any other NHL questions for Lib or any other questions, drop them down in the comments and we'll see if she can answer them for you. So, love you, Lib.
Love you, Mommy. Thank you. Thank you, Fitz. You guys rock.
Thank you. All right. And thanks, Fitz. And will you see? Yes, you will. We'll see you next week on the next episode of Madge Unmuted.